Hello everyone and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today we are watching Brofisticus in his Warspite, the tier 6 British premium battleship. Now he's on the map hotspot in a domination game mode, and he's also platooned with two other people. One of them is iChase, and iChase, you probably all know him. He runs a YouTube channel with lots of World of Warships content. A very successful YouTube channel, I might add. He makes good videos. Also it's a tier 7 battle, I believe, but there are no enemy tier 7 battleships. And there are no carriers, which is always great when you're in a battleship. Now the Warspite itself is it's a premium battleship that's on sale very rarely. On, I guess, special occasions. It's put in the shop for a short time. And I think it's the only British ship in the game. Also, I got this replay from wowreplays.com, where you can upload your replays if you want to. I'll put a link to the replay in the video description. Now let's take a short look at how this battle is progressing. The friendly team is pushing hard towards C, and it would seem as if they can capture this point. There's also a destroyer going towards B. We don't know yet if we will meet any opposition. And the enemies are already inside A. There is a friendly destroyer scouting, and the enemy destroyer is hiding in some smoke. But that smoke won't last forever. And Brofisticus and his teammates, it looks like they wanna push down this flank. Now, when you were starting over here, you got pretty much three options. You could go more towards the middle, or you could try to go straight for A, or you can push down towards this flank. Now, going straight for A is oftentimes a death trap. There isn't much room to maneuver in there, and so you can get caught out by torpedoes. And if you want to retreat out of here, you might be forced to turn in a way that opens up your broadside, and it's... Unless you are like a destroyer or a sneaky ship, you probably don't want to push directly towards A, unless you've already scouted the enemies and you realize that it might be rather safe. So at this point they see that the enemies are retreating and are pushing more towards B, which means that taking this way around will... Well, it means that they will spend quite a bit of time where this island will block all the shots they have, and unfortunately they aren't very fast ships. But I don't want to go straight towards A because there is still a destroyer, and driving in there might not be a great idea. Now, it looks pretty good so far, since they have taken control of 2 points. Now, there is still a battle going on around point C, and there is an enemy force moving towards B, but it will take them some time to arrive. But yeah, unfortunately, they are still... the Warspite isn't a very fast ship. So it will, they're sticking together and they are pushing down there very hard. They aren't wasting any time here, and they are going straight probably around here, following this enemy group. But yeah, at the moment they are unfortunately not really in a position to stop those. So the enemies, they realize that there is a hard push coming, and they just decided, you know what, then we will all just drive away towards B. Now this friendly group here is probably, you could say they're getting flanked because they are getting approached from 2 sides. But so far the teams are pretty even, and they are leading because they control 2 capture points and the enemy has not. The enemies didn't even try to go for A after they lost the destroyer. Just all decided to go straight towards B. And now this group has almost cleared this island, and now they can all fire at the enemies once more. So let's see how that turns out. They are... Seems like they are losing control of the point C. There are quite a few ships who died inside there, it would seem. And I guess if those guys really are determined to take B, there is nobody to stop them. But the friendly cruisers have realized that A is up for grabs and they've just driven straight into it, and they are now proceeding to capture A, since there isn't really any opposition there. So it's still looking pretty great. Now you hear the Warspite platoon arrives now. Hey, I just thought at first iChase was probably trying to turn around. He's probably maneuvering here to avoid shots, and he's probably also trying to let his teammates get into the front. When you are driving in a group of battleships, if you are the lead ship, you will be the one who is getting shot at. Once you've lost a bit of your health, you might want to fall back behind the other ships and let them take the offensive. So the fire gets spread around.
Torpedoes, direct front.
See, iChase is now here on the outskirts, and those battleships are probably now or it might be that the enemies now focus on those battleships because they are closer. Now they've lost the friendly cruiser here in A. This cruiser is maybe a little bit too brave. He is running into a big enemy fleet, and the friendly battleships are just not fast enough to catch up there. So he might have been better off just waiting, maybe. I know, I mean, if you see that many ships in your capture point, you want to do something about it, you want to reset those guys, you want to shoot them. I can understand what this cruiser is doing, but it might have been better to go around here and stick with the battleships. Now, unfortunately, it's not looking so great anymore. All of those almost all of the ships up there were lost in battle. And the enemies now have taken control over 2 points. And that's the risk if you push towards here. If the enemy doesn't meet you around here and you are in rather slow ships, then it will take you a long time just chasing around the enemy. I mean, they aren't like driving around somewhere where they aren't needed. They are pushing pretty hard towards B. And because they had such a great lead in the beginning, they are still reasonably well off, point-wise. So this is still anyone's game. They have also lost the friendly destroyer. It's only those 3 battleships left. There is still an enemy destroyer around who is not spotted yet. Now this Nuremberg looks like a pretty tasty target. He is presenting his broadside. Those shots could finish him. And there you go. One less enemy. Oh. One in the platoon has called out Deadeye as a target, so now he switched fire. Well, or I guess he decided that the New York is a much better target to shoot at. I'm assuming these guys might be in TeamSpeak and communicating that way. Now, I mean, they know they have to probably push towards E, which means he now has to open up his broadside towards this New York. But they should be able to deal with this New York very swiftly if they all focus fire.
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
And there are some torpedoes incoming. So the enemy destroyer is probably... yeah, okay, see. It's now spotted. This New York is almost down. That's one less enemy they have to worry about. And there you go. Now unfortunately the enemies continue to focusing iChase. He is trying to get behind his teammates and probably in the hopes that the fire will shift. A lot of people will just shoot the closest target they have and not necessarily try to finish a damaged enemy. Unfortunately, those enemies were determined. You can also see here the secondary is going off. This York is pretty close and the York has torpedoes, so there will probably be torpedoes in the water. You see both battleships maneuvering in the hopes of avoiding that, but oh, there are torpedoes coming in so many directions. And unfortunately this Warspite probably wasn't expecting those torpedoes. So it's only Brofisticus left against 4 enemies. Now he should be able to deal with the York very quickly, and yes, that's one less enemy. Now there is a Congo left, destroyer, I don't exactly remember what kind of destroyer it was, and this Miyoko. Now the Miyoko is in the process of turning, but he might just be turning into those shots. I think he might... he was forced to turn because he was almost running into an island. He probably should have kept going away from those shots, so he... well, I mean, it's good for Brofisticus. Now he focuses his fire on this destroyer because the destroyer is at the moment the biggest threat. Now while he's trying to position himself in a way that he's a hard target to hit with torpedoes, there is still this battleship. And yeah, I mean, the torpedoes are just a greater concern, but getting it in the sights from a Congo is also not really what you want. Now he turns his ship back around, so he can angle against this Congo and he can bring his rear guns to bear at the Miyoko. Now this Miyoko is driving backwards, which makes him easy target to hit. You can also see here he is turning his ship and he's trying to turn his guns in the other direction, and the Warspite ship itself turns faster than the turrets. So it took him a while until he could bring his guns to bear. And oh, this Miyoko has run into ground. That's great news, because now he should be able to take her out fairly easily. I think the Sabo will end the Miyoko. Yes, there you go. The Kraken's unleashed. And there is only one Congo left. Now the biggest advantage the Congo has is range. But the Congo is in range of the Warspite, so... well, there is also mobility. But Brofist's team has more points, and if he can take B, then they will win on time. So the Congo can't just go around kiting. The Congo has to fight, or, well, he will lose the battle. And in a brawl, the Warspite is obviously way better. Now the Congo has a few more hit points at the moment. It will take some time for the repair to come off cooldown. But the Congo is also sailing broadside on currently, which is not so good, and he missed his shots, which also means he missed his opportunity to reset the cap. Now technically all Brofisticus has to do to win is just stay alive, but his ship is slower with less range, so he can't kite. Though when we look at the Congo, I'm not exactly sure how much range this Congo will have, because there is no tower, which means it's probably a stock Congo. And I'm not entirely sure if this affected the range of the Congo. It's been a long time since I had a stock Congo. And hey, the repair is, or the heal, it's ready again. So Brofisticus heals up again. And he's taking his time here. Time's on his side. He got a decent hit, I guess. I mean, this is still anyone's game. One good broadside and any of those two ships is going down. So he is now making sure to angle the Warspite. Yes, the Congo realized as well that it might be a good idea to angle his ship. But yeah, I mean, the hit points are so low, and Warspite does have quite good guns. Secondaries are also opening up fire, and probably the next broadside might decide what's happening. Yeah, those shots didn't do much, unfortunately. And I mean, the Congo might just be trying to go for a ram at this point. But the secondary set him on fire, and that should be his... Well, okay, he probably can just get rid of the fire. And yep, this settles it. There is the win. So let's take a look at the results. Brofisticus managed to get 2,900 base experience and 6 kills. Truly well played from him. Also, of course, very well played from his platoon. And I guess his team in general. They decided to push hard in the beginning, and the enemies, I guess, somewhat countered the opening strategy by realizing where the push was coming from and just retreating towards the middle. But the friendly team managed to get a big lead in the beginning, and that lead was enough to allow the Warspites to arrive in the battle and turn the tide. So it was a pretty pleasant battle to watch, and yeah, it was very well played, I guess. When we take a look at the achievements, he got, well, quite a list. He got High Caliber and Confederate and Kraken and Dreadnought and I think Fireproof and Solo Warrior. So, amazing game. It was truly a pleasure to watch, and I hope you enjoyed watching it as well. And I'll see you guys next time.